The alarm was raised just before 6 this morning. The steel-hulled fishing vessel, the T-Bon Homme, was making its way home to Union Hall with 6 on board. Its skipper, named locally as Michael Hayes, its 4 Egyptian crewmen, and a 21-year-old local student who was interested in going to sea and was along for the trip.
When you're living alongside the sea, you know if you don't get survivors in the first 2 to 3 hours, then you're basically looking for bodies.
To think like that, just another few minutes and they were there. And that was the very, very hard thing to understand, and still is.
Coast Guard helicopter will be searching, Baltimore lifeboat, possibly Portmac lifeboat.
We came to this location here, known locally as Daly Strand. We thought we heard a voice coming from the strand, but we weren't too sure because of the darkness and the rain.
I go to the water and stay long time, more than 2.5 hours. I swim into the shore, very, very cold.
I jumped over and I eventually saw what I thought was a hand.
I shout for the people, and nobody saw me.
I found the survivor, Abdul. He was in a very distressed and advanced state of hypothermia. He didn't have a pulse either from his feet or his arms. Basically, he was, I suppose, dying, really.
Every minute, every second, I remember everything.
From day 1 to day 26, we searched, we looked, until everyone was found.
Now, some people were actively involved out in the searching, some on the water, some on land, on the rocks, sometimes covered in mud and muck and cold and frozen. People at home cooking, baking, making soups. Every boat, every small craft that they could mobilise, people went out. The community opened its heart and its doors. There wasn't even a question asked.
It was incredible, and it was an absolute huge effort, and the fishermen gave up their time, they gave up their income, and they were doing as fishing people in this island have done, you know, and always do. And I suppose the real spirit of what we are as a nation has come out.
Harrowing scenes on the pier at Union Hall as the body of the first of the 5 missing fishermen is recovered and identified.
We weren't giving up, whether it be the community or ourselves, the Coast Guard, the Civil Defence, the naval divers, the Garda divers, like everybody had the goal that they were all coming home.
We had so much hope every day that every day was the last day, that it was absolutely horrific when that didn't happen.
Every time that they returned, we filled up, had a bite of grub, and went back to sea again. We had to get clothing, rubber boots, oilskins, survival suits, anything that I asked anybody to do, it was done with the best will in the world and wanting to get more done.
21-year-old Kevin Kershaw's body was recovered close to where the body of Atiya Shaban was located.
Kevin was saving up for to go to Australia. His dream was just to get away and do his own thing, make something of his life. He just had a heart of gold. Kevin was 21.
The family of Michael Hayes gathered around his coffin on the pier at Union Hall, among them his brother Tom. Tom was on a rib boat carrying out a search at the harbour at 12:30 today when he spotted his brother's body floating in the water.
For us, as a family, it's like one long day. It's like we're still in that 15th of January. It's just like we're still there. Time goes very, very slowly.
In one way, we're grateful that we have his body back, that we can say a proper goodbye. He's still in my heart. God has him as a keepsake. I have him in my heart.
I need to say all community, Skibbereen and Union Hall, not only me, all Egyptian people, thank you for helping us.
What we set out to do, which was to bring each one of them home and give them back to their families, that's what we managed to do.
Please welcome Jeremy Irons.
Few words can be of comfort when facing the loss of a loved one. But what can be offered is the love and care of community. The people of Union Hall searched, waited, hoped, and cried together, and above all, united in their resolve to do the one thing the families of those men needed: to find them and to bring them home. I'm very proud to have lived on that coast, the coast of West Cork, for more than 20 years. I sailed those waters. I've actually gone aground on that rock that sank that ship, but in calm weather. And I know many of the people of Union Hall. So the actions of that community came as no surprise to me. It's my honor to ask Father Piers Cormack and Bill Deasy, on behalf of everyone involved, to accept the Community Group of the Year award.
People in the room clearly moved, Pierce and Bill, and it is so moving to watch it. But the actions of the people of Union Hall, and there are some of them here in the audience tonight, really moved so many people themselves. The response was far and wide, wasn't it?
From the word go, on the very first morning, people literally came to the pier and they asked the question, what can we do? And over the next number of days, as each day led into the next day, people were still there, coming, not in their hundreds, but in their thousands. In so many ways, there was never, ever a question that they weren't behind us and involved. And the hearts of the whole country went out to the people involved, especially to the families. People were so concerned about the families, and they wanted to help. And our goal always was, and we repeated this, Bill and myself, every day below, we wanted to bring each one of those people that were lost back home to their families, and that was what we wanted to give them, so that they could grieve properly and that they could find some little comfort in the tragedy that unfolded. I think the whole nation joined us in that, but the community, the local community, were truly inspirational. And it just showed, like, during those days, we never mentioned, it was after Christmas, January is always a bleak month anyway, never once was the word recession mentioned. There was never a problem. Anything we wanted, we were given. It was given.